What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. Crimson Moon launches on September the 1st, and it costs $20. We covered the 10 most surprising things about this one already. Today, we are going deeper and putting the whole picture in one place, the story and who you actually are, how long a mission takes, and how the mission board evolves underneath you, what the combat asks of you moment to moment, what powers that angel transformation, and the specs and platform bonuses nobody has really talked about yet. There is also a detail about the boss fights that genuinely surprised me for a game at this price. Everything here comes from the developers themselves and from hands-on previews. None of it is from reviews because nobody has played a final build yet. Let us get into it. Essentials first. Crimson Moon launches on September the 1st. That covers PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S plus PC. On PC, that is Steam and the Epic Games Store. The standard edition is $19.99, the deluxe is $29.99 and adds the ceremonial armor set plus a weapon cosmetic called the Axe of the Gods. Critically, the deluxe also includes an upcoming expansion, so that $10 gap is not purely cosmetic, which does change the maths on it. Probably Monsters are developing, and this is their first released title. So who are you actually playing? You are a Nephilim, which is a half-human and half-angel hybrid. You serve as a Knight of the Crimson Moon. Your job is retaking the fallen city of Gildenark district by district. You are taking it from something called the Infernal Legion. And the framing here is darker than the marketing suggests. The developers describe the Nephilim as enslaved by the Lunitarian Church of Elcoria, a religious order that worships a lunar deity. So you are not a free agent with a holy calling. You are a weapon somebody else forged. The team has also said lore is presented from a myriad of perspectives. They want players piecing the world together rather than being told it, and they have confirmed the religious themes are aesthetic. They are not commentary on real-world faiths. Now the structure, and this is the number people keep asking for. A mission runs between 15 and 45 minutes. That is the developer's own figure, and it tells you exactly what kind of game this is. This is mission-based rather than a traditional story campaign, and it is built for repeat playthroughs. The layouts are dynamic, so the same mission is not the same shape twice. What I find more interesting is how difficulty scales. It is not just a slider. There are challenge modifiers and changing enemy compositions, and there is an evolving mission board that hands you new objectives and new progression paths as you go. So the thing you are picking missions from is itself changing while you play, worth understanding how a run actually ends too. Each run carries a life pool that absorbs your deaths and lets you keep pushing deeper. When that pool empties, the run is finished, and you do not go back to reclaim what you lost. The official wording is that you will not return to reclaim lost loot, so there is no corpse run in this game at all, which is a bold thing to cut from a Souls-inspired design. Levels themselves are handcrafted rather than procedurally generated. What gets randomized is everything inside them. On the combat itself, the verb list is wider than the trailers show. You have dodges and rolls, but you also have parries and counters. Layered on top of that are magical abilities and the transformations. The developers say bosses are built to test your ability to learn and adapt, then refine your precision and timing. So this leans closer to a proper duel than a damage race. Stamina is in the game and it is core, but the team has deliberately made it more generous than most Souls likes. They want you stringing attacks together. Healing works through health flasks, and those replenish as you clear sections of a mission. You can also pull healing from boons and from modifiers on your equipment. As for what you are fighting, the roster is broader than the trailers suggest. You are facing demons and undead, but also vampires and things the developers call hell growth abominations. And there are visceral execution abilities that change depending on which enemy type you are finishing off. So the execution variety actually has something to work with rather than being one animation on repeat. The transformation everybody saw in the trailers runs on a named resource, and it is called Angel Power. You build it and then you spend it for a temporary celestial buff. So it is a resource you have to manage inside a fight rather than a cinematic that fires on its own. The transformation itself is Angel Ascension, and it is sturdy rather than invincible. You can still die in it if you enter on low health and play recklessly. How hard it hits and how long it lasts scales off your equipment rarity. And there is a second angel form to unlock later called Sunder. You choose which angel you take in with you before every mission. Progression starts simpler than you might expect. You pick between 2 base loadouts, and everything after that you earn by replaying missions. You collect armor sets and weapons, and the ones you want you purify back at base to keep permanently. There are over 30 weapon types across one-handed and two-handed. Though dual wielding is not planned, And the developers have been specific about what they are aiming for. They say build variety should allow genuinely divergent playstyles rather than cosmetic differences. There is no traditional inventory either. Instead, you get bag slots for carrying things home to purify, and lore notes are mechanical, not flavor. Collecting them unlocks new dialogue and adds new boons that can appear during a run. Underneath all of that sit two separate currencies. Souls are temporary and run-focused, covering consumables and temporary upgrades. Gold is your permanent long-term upgrading currency. And there is one more thing shaping the endgame. Equipment rarity is capped at each difficulty tier, so if you want fully legendary gear, you have to climb the difficulties to earn it. Difficulty here is the progression rather than a comfort setting. Here is the shape of the endgame. There are 3 world bosses standing between you and the finale. You push through the districts of Gildenark to reach each one, and the final boss does not appear at all until all 3 are dead. Now, the detail I genuinely love about this, those 4 fights have original metal tracks written for them. Probably monsters brought in Health and Jared Dines to score them. Misha Mansoor and Ricky Armellino worked on them as well. That is 1 track for each world boss, plus 1 for the final fight. For a $20 game, commissioning 4 original metal tracks from names like that is not a small thing. It also tells you how much weight those specific fights are meant to carry. Every mission is playable solo or with one other person online, and the developers have been clear this is not an afterthought. They say they run robust single-player and co-op testing every single day, so both are meant to feel complete. Encounters scale dynamically between 1 and 2 players. In co-op, you get ability synergies between the 2 of you, plus mid-battle revival, but you share a communal life pool across the hunt, so your partner taking unnecessary damage is directly your problem. There is no direct trading either, though you can drop items on the ground for each other to pick up. Chests can also produce multiple drops, so you are not fighting your friend over 1 sword. Between runs, you both go back to Sanctus Clypeus, the Order's stronghold. That is where you purify what you found and plan the next assignment at the war table. Now the practical stuff, because this has barely been covered anywhere. On PC, the published minimum specification is a GTX 1070, with 16 gigabytes of RAM. The recommended tier is an RTX 3070 with 32 gigabytes. You need around 50 gigabytes of storage either way. Those are genuinely modest numbers, and that matters for a game at this price. Over on PlayStation, there's a bonus worth knowing about. Every PlayStation player gets the Sonai Magistrate armor set for free, and on PlayStation 5 Pro, there is upgraded PSSR support, so the Pro version gets a real technical benefit rather than just a resolution bump. Before we wrap, here is what is still open. Nobody has said how long a full playthrough takes. We do not know what the Deluxe Edition expansion actually contains, and there is one genuine inconsistency worth flagging. A developer said 6 main districts of Gildenark in their question and answer video, while other coverage refers to 3 districts. The 3 world bosses figure is settled. The district count is not. Console performance is also unverified because nobody outside the studio has played a final build, so treat anything you read on those points as an estimate rather than a fact. And that is everything you need to know about Crimson Moon going into launch. Quick recap for you. September the 1st at $19.99. Missions run 15 to 45 minutes with dynamic layouts. There are 3 world bosses with original metal tracks written for them. You get 2-player co-op with a shared life pool, plus modest PC requirements. I am not giving you a buy or skip call today. That is what the Before You Buy is for, and that one lands 4 days out from launch. There is also an early impressions roundup coming about a week before release, so subscribe and turn on notifications if you want those. Now tell me down in the comments, which of those 3 world bosses are you most curious about, and are you going in solo or dragging a friend with you? Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.